All right, so I'm following up from a post I made yesterday. Um, Most of y'all seen it. You know what I'm saying? I had a little good time with that, but there's a level of seriousness to it. So first of all, the overall point I was trying to make is that you, us as men, people in general, but as men, we got to check more boxes. Now, I don't date men, so I don't know what it's like to date a man. I only know what it's like from a woman's vantage point, from their perspective as they relay it to me. That's all I know. You know what I'm saying? But I do know what it's like being a man out here on the dating scene, and I know what tools we come to the game with. You know, I know what we're equipped with. I know what we're taught, right? And we're not all taught the same things. We're not all given the same upbringing and whatnot. My dad was big on character. You know what I'm saying? My family was big on character, and they were big on a lot of other things. You know, being a decent person, being respectable, all this other good stuff. The things I consider the basics. Um, and we naturally all develop personalities, right? But we were given the basic tools as far as you got to be able to provide, right? You know what I'm saying? And so when I talk about checking boxes, I'm not including the basics, right? Because we all are supposed to come to the table with the basics. So I, as a man, I can't brag about being able to take care of my kids. That's the basics. I can't brag about having a place to live. That's the basics. I can't brag about having a car. That's the basics. I shouldn't be bragging about having good credit. That's the basics, right? And so I think some of us were brought up to believe that once we had all the basics locked down, that the women were going to be lined up and beating down our door. We were all, I think a lot of people, not me, but I think a lot of us, that's what we thought. And you have to know better. You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget. My aunt told me after I was maybe, I don't know how old, maybe what, 19, 18, and she just told me flat out, you got to be more. You were raised to be more than just a swinging dick, basically. You know, so all of that stuff put in, I had to be able to. I had to be a person. I had to be personable. I had to be respectable. So get to my point. Yeah, it's a lot of dudes, man. Yeah, we got the basics. We should have the basics. Don't You can't brag about having the basics. What then follows is the other stuff, man. You know, you gotta. I hate to say it, but you might consider it superficial. But what you look like you gotta be somewhat physically attractive. Okay, I mean, everybody's not a GQ model and they ain't all dressed to the nines, but be able to put a decent outfit together. Keep a haircut. Wash your ass. Like, there's some very basic things. And on top of all that, you have to have some sort of personality. You have to be interesting. I mean, you have to be somebody a woman wants to engage with. But a lot of times we focus so much on the basics that now we get out here and some of us expected the door to be getting beat down by women because of the basics, and we're realizing, finding out, oh, I gotta have more. Well, you 30 something, 40 something, maybe, I don't know, 50 something, and you never developed anything more than what you thought was going to be enough. And now you feel some kind of way when it's not enough. That's not women's fault. It's not, and it's the other way around too. You can flip it and spin it the other way around too, in regards to women. No, the basics are not enough. I mean, yeah, cooking, cleaning, you hold down a job, all that stuff. Yes, those are the basics, but what else? So I think that's where men get, and maybe, like I said, people in general, women too, but they get caught up and they're let down and they're disappointed with the results they're getting out here because the only thing they're bringing to the table is the basics. And we ain't living in that era no more. I'm sorry, this ain't the pre 1950s. This ain't back in the day. Again, like I mentioned before, relationships built on survival. That's not a thing anymore. It's not. That era's done. So now, women have the option, being that they can provide for themselves, to choose a man based on other things outside of those basics. I also mentioned this idea that dudes keep talking about women overseas and in other countries. And oh my God, like I don't know how many dudes actually have been overseas or believe, I don't know what their experience is. Some of them I believe actually have been over there, and they've dated. You know, they've had casual encounters, right? I've seen the results of men who have went overseas, got a wife, got back to the states, and he was an asshole, right? You know what I'm saying? Kind of like I mentioned in my other video. It's one thing to be a little lame, a little square, but you still respectable. You're a decent dude, and you get a woman from overseas and get her back into America, man. She's going, most likely it's gonna work out. But if you're an asshole, if you feel like you could treat women a certain kind of way, and you bring a woman from one of those other countries, bro, they're adaptable. They know what American women have access to. They want to get to America so they can be as liberated as American women are. If you ask any of them, they will let you know that that's what it is. They don't want to stay in their countries. They don't want you to come to their countries and just pad down there. No, 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 no. They want to come back here in a lot of cases. And when they come back here, if you are an asshole, if you're disrespectful, if you're rude, if somebody can't live with you, bro, they will get the divorce. And you will have a dependent on top of another dependent. So if you bring one from over there to over here and you get her pregnant, yeah, she walking away with the kids, and they gonna get everything they can possibly get because they're in a dependent status. So this idea that I'm just gonna go overseas and just give me one of these submissives from overseas, bro, go for it. Try it out. I want to see it. You better stay in that country. If you gonna go over there and try that shit, and you gonna be an asshole, you better stay in that country. Don't bring her back to the States because she's gonna adapt real quick. She's gonna find out real quick what she has available and the resources available. And you so how about this? How about let's just develop personalities? How about that? Is it that hard? No, I don't think it's that difficult. I mean, to me, it's pretty simple. Um, it ain't that damn complicated.